Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Brittany and I go through the tools and systems marketed to photographers. And then together, we break them down to see what works and what might be a waste of your time. If that sounds helpful, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. Today, I am looking at Pic-Time, a client gallery and shop system, and actually the one I've used for my client images for close to 6 years now. I featured them in my comparison videos before, but I've never actually given the system a full solo deep dive. And full disclosure, I am in Pic-Time's partner program, so there's an affiliate code in the description if you want to try them out. But partner or not, I review everything with the same energy. If I come across something bad, you're going to hear about it in the same way you would if I came across something good. We're going to be experiencing this system in the way we would if we were uploading and delivering a session to a client. I'll go through the different elements like the shop, gallery prep, and upload, and we'll also see what the final gallery is like from a client's point of view. Truthfully, even though I've been a Pic-Time user for a good chunk of time, there are features I've only lightly explored, so this is going to be a fun little trip to expand my own understanding of the system. Something that I have always appreciated about Pic-Time is the aesthetics of the user interface. It's clean, it's not bloated, the design is simple and sophisticated. Everything is organized into its own sections. There's navigation and galleries on the left, our dashboard and activity is in the center, and the workflow for tasks is on the right. We're not really hunting for anything on initial login, and the system is just downright pleasing to look at. My one gripe is that some of the visual elements with the dashboard, like this graph and these image bubbles, aren't labeled. I have to hover over the individual dots in order to figure out that this is showing my gallery view count. And even then, only half of them are responsive to the scroll over. And I'm pretty sure the image bubbles are showing which galleries have the most views, but that's a guess and I shouldn't have to guess. The rest of the dashboard is clearly labeled and really well done, so just a little extra titling on these elements would make it great. So if this were my first time in the system, one of the first things I'd set up is my shop price list. And this is one of those areas in Pic-Time that I always found a bit overwhelming. However, they've added a guided setup option alongside the original manual method, and honestly, this single change completely shifted my experience for the better. The guided method walks us through a few questions and suggests what might work best for our sales channels. Going through the guided setup actually made me confident in what I was building, whereas previously, I was kinda timid in my price sheet approach. I was very much one and done with my price sheet instead of attempting to optimize products and offers across different sessions effectively. With either method, we do get to pick and choose what we ultimately offer our clients, and we can adjust markup universally by product or to individual items. So we're not losing any control with this guided route. This is one of those updates that seems small, but it genuinely makes the system way more approachable. And it's also really easy to assign price sheets to certain galleries, or make it our default offering. Next on the setup docket is my gallery, and this is where Pic-Time has always shined for me. There's plenty of design choices, but not so many that I don't know what to do with myself. The flow is intuitive, and the media section is a breeze to work with. We can create folders, or scenes as the system calls them, and upload images directly into each one. Or what's really great is we can drag entire session folders from our computer into the uploader and have it automatically create those scenes for us. We can also keep working while uploads are going. There's no waiting for the process to finish before we're moving on. And also within the gallery setup, there's sales and automations that we can flip on as well. It's all very convenient, compact, and cool. When it is time to send the gallery out, we've got a few ways to do it. Email from the system, a direct link, or a code. And there are options for managing photographer invited users and guest access too. So there's a good amount of control here on who we're sending galleries to. If we opt for sending a message from the system to our client, the only thing I wish I could do is save the message I'm writing here as a template directly from this screen. But instead, we have to go into the email packages area to set up any templates, which is a little clunky. Mainly because the email packages list can be a little much to look at, and we have to go up and make our own custom email packages in order to customize any of the messages we want to send. Lucky for us, the gallery is ready message is right at the top of the list, so we don't have to worry about everything else under that right away. The template editor itself is laid out well, and there are some dynamic text options to make the message feel a bit more personalized to each client. The thing that's noticeably missing is a formatting toolbar, so if we want to bold, italicize, or style any of our text, we have to do it with HTML tags, which is definitely not the most user-friendly approach. This is one section I've never fully committed to setting up just because it's easier for me to use my outside email client where all my templates are organized by type and workflow. Something I do want to point out is that Pic-Time is definitely a system where you'll want to set up your templates and presets before you start creating any galleries. There's no save this as a template button built into the screens where you're actually working. So if you're writing a message or setting up a gallery and thinking, I want to reuse these words or designs later, you'll have to go into a separate settings area and recreate it all from there. That's why I think if you spend some time getting this all set up prior, your future self is going to be very, very happy. With our message sent out though, we are ready for our client to take over and experience their gallery. In my opinion, Pic-Time has the strongest gallery game out there. And I'm not just talking about the design aesthetics, because at this point, this kind of gallery grid appearance is pretty standard across platforms. What isn't standard is the flow. The navigation is smooth, the system communicates clearly to the client how everything works. The sales reminders are attention grabbing without being terribly pushy or cheesy, and the shop itself is really well done. What completely sets it apart for me though is the little details that protect both sides. When a client adjusts a crop on a print, the system flags it so they can double check it before moving on. And at checkout, they actually have to confirm that they're aware of any cropping before they can complete the order. That kind of built-in safeguard is huge. Knowing that my client is landing in a gallery that feels this professional, this polished, and this trustworthy makes me feel calmer every time I send out a new link. There's definitely some elements of Pic-Time where the attempts to be super unique and innovative fall a little flat, but in the areas where it counts, like the gallery creation, the shop setup, and the client's final gallery, their strengths greatly outweigh the weak points they may have. The system is definitely a high-end one. The features, pricing, and areas that they're focused on developing further showcase that quality. And I think for photographers who are willing to invest the time in setting it up and learning the system, it all pays off. It's been my gallery provider for almost 6 years now, and I'm still finding new things in the system that could optimize my workflow, along with some things that I probably will need to spend some more time with to even begin to understand. This system is a hefty one for sure, and if there's anything that you were curious about, I hope you'll use my video as a visual guide to easily navigate through Pic-Time and explore it further. And they do have an always free tier, so you can venture through at your own pace. Let me know how it goes for you in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in to this dive into Pic-Time with me. Feel free to let me know what systems you're using or interested in that I should check out. And if you want to see more photo systems and products, let me know by liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and hitting that little bell so you don't miss my next tech review. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.